Dear students, I welcome you all to the lesson Meristem or shoot tip culture. Firstly, we will discuss what is meristem. A meristem is the tissue in most plants containing undifferentiated cells. These cells are known as meristematic cells found in the zones of plant where growth can take place. What is meristem culture? Meristem culture is the in vitro culture of generally shiny, special dome-like structure measuring less than 0.1 millimeter in length and only one or two pairs of youngest leaf primordia, most often excised from the shoot apex. Now we will discuss the principle for meristem culture. The excised shoot tips and meristem can be cultured aseptically on agar solidified simple nutrient medium or on paper bridges dipping into liquid medium, and under the appropriate condition will grow out directly into a small leafy shoot or multiple shoots. Alternatively, the meristem may form a small callus at its cut case on which a large number of shoots primordia will develop. These shoots primordia grow out into multiple shoots. Once the shoots have been grown directly from the excised shoot tip or meristem, they can be propagated further by nodal cuttings. Nodal cuttings are those cuts which are made just below the node of branch or stem. Here in the picture you can see. This process involves separating the shoot into small segments, each containing one node. The auxiliary bud on each segment will grow out into culture to form yet another shoot. Now we will discuss the protocol for meristem culture. Firstly, remove the young twigs from healthy plant. Then cut the tip 1 centimeter portion of the twig. Surface sterilize the shoot apices by incubation in the sodium hypochlorite solution for 10 minutes. The explants are thoroughly rinsed 4 times in sterile distilled water. Transfer each explant to the sterilized petri dish. Remove the outer leaves from each shoot apices with the pair of forceps. This lessens the possibility of cutting into the softer underlying tissues. After the removal of all outer leaves, the apex is exposed. Cut off the ultimate apex with the help of scalpel and transfer only those less than 1 millimeter in length to the surface of the agar medium or to the surface of filter paper bridge. Flame the neck of the culture tube before and after the transfer of the excised tip. Binocular dissecting microscope can be used for cutting the true meristem or shoot tip perfectly. After doing that, incubate the culture under 16 hours light at 25 degree centigrade. As soon as the growing single leaf shoot or multiple shoots obtained from single shoot tip or meristem develop root, transfer them to hormone-free medium. The plantlets formed by this way are later transferred to pots containing compost and kept under greenhouse conditions. Here in the picture you can see that meristem is obtained from potted plant, and these are grown on specialized medium, and again complete plant can be obtained. Now we will discuss the importance of shoot tip or meristem culture. The uses of shoot tips and meristem in culture are very varied and include mainly the first one, virus eradication, micropropagation and storage of genetic resources. We will discuss one by one all of these. Firstly, we will discuss virus eradication. Eradication, you can see that complete destruction or complete removal of anything. In case of virus eradication, this means that removal or destruction of viruses in case of culture. This technique is also valuable for the maintenance of carefully defined stocks of specific varieties and cultivars in disease-free state. The size of the meristem X plant is critical for virus eradication. This means that size has to be maintained according to the required condition. Now, micropropagation. Sexual or vegetative propagation of whole plant using tissue culture technique is referred to as micropropagation. Shoot tip or meristem culture of many plant species can successfully be used for micropropagation. Now, storage of genetic resources. Many plants produces seeds that are highly heterozygous in nature or that are recalcitrant. Such seeds are not accepted for storing genetic resources, so the meristem from such plant can be stored in vitro. This is the end of this lesson. In the coming lesson, we will discuss the remaining content of this course. Thank you. Dear students, I welcome you all to the lesson Regeneration Methods of Plants in Culture. Firstly, we will define what is plant regeneration. The process of growing an entire plant from a single cell or group of cells is called plant regeneration. Regeneration is possible because plant cells can be made totipotent using different types of hormones. Totipotent cells are those which are capable of giving rise to any cell type or complete embryo. Regeneration is possible from dedifferentiated tissues, stems, leaves, or roots, or from undifferentiated embryonic cells are totipotent, can become whole new plant by differentiating into a whole new plant. Here in the picture you can see X plant is selected, and then that X plant is grown on nutrient media. Then callus is developed. That callus give production of embryoid. That embryoid will be converted into embryo, and from embryo whole plant is grown. Plant regeneration. The main objective in plant culture is to regenerate a plant or plant organ from the callus culture. The regeneration of plant or plant organs only take place by the expression of cellular totipotency of the callus tissues. In agriculture biotechnology, tissue culture is more important for the regeneration of transgenic plants from single transformed cells. Here I would define transgenic plants and transformed cells. Transgenic plants are those plants into which one or more genes from another species have been introduced into their genome, and transformed cells are those cells which are genetically altered cells, and genetic alteration can be done by exogenous genetic material from another species. Organogenesis. Organogenesis is the formation of organs, either shoot or root. Organogenesis in vitro depends on the balance of auxin and cytokinin and the ability of tissue to respond to phytohormones during culture. Phytohormones they regulate the plant growth. Organogenesis takes place in three phases. In the first phase, the cells become competent. Next phase, they become de-differentiated. Firstly, I would like to define what are the competent cells and what are the de-differentiated cells. Competent cells are those cells which are made ready to uptake genetic material, and de-differentiated cells or tissues are those which undergo reversal of differentiation. This means that they lose specialized characteristics. In the third phase, morphogenesis proceeds independently of exogenous phytohormones. Morphogenesis is the production of morphological characteristics. Indirect organogenesis. Formation of organs indirectly via callus phase is termed as indirect organogenesis. Induction of plant using this technique does not ensure clonal fidelity, but it could be an ideal system for selecting somaclonal variants of desired character and also for mass multiplication. Somaclonal variants are obtained by plant tissue culture, and these are genetic and phenotypic variants. Induction of plants via callus phase has been used for the production of genetic transgenic plants in which firstly the callus is transformed and plants regenerated, or the initial X plant is transformed and callus and then shoots are developed from the X plant. इसका मतलब ये है कि ये जो ट्रांसजेनिक प्लांट्स की प्रोडक्शन होती है ये दो तरह से की जा सकती है. या तो इनिशियल जो एक्स प्लांट लिया हुआ है उसको ही ट्रांसफॉर्म कर दें, यानी कि जो डिज़ायर्ड जीन ऑफ इंटरेस्ट है उसको आप इंट्रोड्यूस करा दें, या फिर इस तरह से हो सकता है कि आफ्टर द प्रोडक्शन ऑफ कैलस आप अपना जो डिज़ायर्ड जीन है उसको इंट्रोड्यूस करवा दें. Now we will discuss direct organogenesis, the production of direct buds or shoots from tissue with no intervening callus stage is termed as direct organogenesis. Plants have been propagated by direct organogenesis for improved multiplication rates, production of transgenic plants, and more importantly for clonal propagation. Typically, indirect organogenesis is more important for transgenic plant production. This is the end of this lesson. In the coming lessons, we will discuss the remaining content of this course. Thank you.